Hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo. Crossbeats production.
What's going on here with Nate28, and this is Crossbeats production. So I want to show you guys Ozone 8 and go through it, use it, go over a track that I'm actually working on at the moment, and just show you kind of what it can do and explain to you what my thoughts are on it and give you an honest review of what I really think it's like. So what I'm going to do is take it from scratch. I'm going to show you guys how the mastering assistant works, and I'll do this on this actual track live in front of you guys so you can see I'm not messing around with it behind the scenes. I'm using it as it is. So it has a couple of features before I get into it, before I have the audio demo. By the way, on the bottom section of this in the description, we'll have a section where you can click the timestamp and it will take you straight to the audio example of this video. So if you want to skip past any of my talking, get straight to that. So basically this plugin is pretty much as you would expect a mastering plugin to be like all the other Ozones before it. So Ozone, I guess from 6, even 5 before that, they progressed and tried to do more and more with their plugins. So what I found with this plugin that is, I guess, more extensive than the previous ones that existed, it's not pretty much a massive step from Ozone 7, but it does have a few things that Ozone 7 cannot do. So a couple of those things here are in the plugin section that you'd see on the filter page with all the other things like limiters, post EQ and imaging and stuff like that. But this thing here, the Spectral Shaper, is something that's unique to this particular plugin, and it's probably one of the most unique things out of all of the things that they updated on Ozone mastering platforms. But basically what it is, from what I can tell at least anyway, it sounds kind of similar to the way a DS would work on your signal. It tries to take out some of the real harsh transients and stuff like that, and it just kind of shapes the signal so it allows a smoothness and, you know, just clarity to the track. Whereas if you had, for example, high or harsh hi-hats, where this track sort of does, it can try and smooth some of that stuff out. And you can obviously move the filter around as you'd expect, just like a DS does. You can adjust the length of the filter as well and all that good stuff. Attack and release settings as you'd expect from some sort of a compressor or a de-esser and things like that. You can change the tone as well, so obviously adjusting that allows you to do that. The other thing that I just want to point out as well before I get into the mastering assistant side of things is the limiter that it comes with, the maximizer I should say. On the maximizer it has this section here, so it's a threshold, learn threshold. So pretty much from what I can see, what it does is adjust the threshold accordingly to the signal that's coming into it. So say for example you set your signal to minus 16 LUFS, just for the sake of maybe, SoundCloud or things like that, like online platforms that have a certain loudness before they start to adjust or turn down the volume of your track. You could adjust it to get a target level so that you're not going to have issues later on down the track with your audio sounding different because they use different, compression techniques or just turning your track down and things like that because it's too loud on those platforms. So you can obviously master to a certain level, which I guess is a good thing in helping you get level right in your master and just getting an all-around general right level for your master where it's not too loud and it's not too peaky and things like that. The other thing then that's normally on the other platforms, so it's been on 7 and I think it's on 6 as well from memory, is this codec section. So the codec section obviously allows you to pre-analyze what the audio would sound like with MP3 or AAC, and you can kind of solo the artifacts and see what they sound like as well. Obviously up to 320, 192, whatever the MP3 that you're converting it to, just so it gives you an idea of what it's going to sound like before you actually do it. Just a little handy technique. That was on the previous one. Dithering was always on the Ozone stuff, and they just kind of had it laid out similar. I guess that the interface of this looks a little bit cleaner than it did before, but if you're not used to seeing all this stuff, it's probably really hard to understand what's going on. But I mean, generally, once you get used to the Ozone platform, it kind of makes sense, and it just makes sense because they kind of just follow the same path that they have done for a while. Dynamics, obviously it's on the previous ones, and the rest of it, all that, you guys can go through it yourselves if you want to see it. But it's got an exciter, as per usual. You can put tape and all that other stuff. You can change the different filters on these individually, whereas I don't believe you could do that before, but it's got a lot more filters as well. So a couple of extra things in there. Obviously each channel's got each filter, so that's kind of cool, I guess, that you can do that. So I mean, it is what it is. So let's go through the mastering assistant and see kind of what it does to my track, because I'm really curious to see how it sounds in regards to its automation and stuff like that, and how it will work with dynamics, and I just want to check it out. So let's get straight into that and see how the mastering assistant works. Obviously, you got all these presets as well, but I just want to see how this little funky thing works here. So I'll play the track. It's a really, really cool, nice track there. It's actually going to be released in the not too distant future. Trying to get a hard drive from the US to try and get all the stems for it. So anyway, let's get straight into this track and catch you guys after that. So as you can see here, you got streaming, CD, and reference. We'll just go with streaming.
I know the wounds are still too fresh to feel any hope, and I know I haven't been the best. Your pain has been my fault, but no, I won't let this be. You see, something happened. I've been shown a love worth everything. So please, please dear, just listen, and I won't give up, I won't stop. You're my beauty to rescue, and it's not enough if you don't have my all. You're my beauty to rescue, and though.
Okay, so what do I think about it? In my honest opinion, like I said in the start there, I really think it's probably a really cool thing if you can just use it to get your tracks out on the platforms that you're releasing it and things like that. It's close to probably what Lander and things like that use, those companies. You're going to get something similar to the sounds that you're getting here, obviously maybe a little bit different, but the good thing about this, I guess, is that you can go in and adjust the stuff yourself if you know what you're doing. So I would say that, you know, this is quite a neat little plugin. It does do things quite well in regards to the sound quality and how it ends up producing the final master. I probably wouldn't do things exactly the way it did it. I definitely probably would do a little bit different with the EQ. I like the boost that it did, but I probably would cut out some of the harshness that it still left in there, and maybe even transform it to mid-side just to allow certain things to change in that. But anyway, nonetheless, you know, what it is, it does it pretty well from what you'd expect from a plugin like this. The thing is, though, I guess if you're looking at upgrading from, you know, 7, or even if you have 6, sometimes it's just good to keep what you have and work with it until it starts to make you back the money that you spent on it. That's just my personal opinion. I think that, you know, if you spend loads and loads of money on continuously updating your plugins, you soon find that you apart from your wallet being empty, you just feel unsatisfied because you haven't learned anything additionally new to the music production or the mixing side of it, as well as, you know, just in general, just learning how mixing works. Things like this, where it's got a mastering assistant, I really think it would make you lazy after a while, especially if you're just like, oh yeah, I get a bunch of masters, I'll chuck it through this and don't even have to think about it, and it just sounds good at the end. Or it's just good enough, you know what I mean? And you're not putting your signature sound on the master yourself. So I really think that a lot of mastering engineers, not that they put their signature on it, but there's a reason why people go to those mastering engineers, because they actually know what they're doing and they have a certain sound, and they're looking for that sound when they send their tracks to those mastering engineers. So I just think that's my 2 cents on this. Hope you guys really liked this video though, and it was somewhat helpful if you're looking at this plugin and purchasing it, or if you just want to see what it does. Otherwise, hit me up in the comments below if you think this plugin's good, what your thoughts are about it, if you're using it, if you're thinking about buying it, or otherwise let me know in the comments below. Hit me up with a like there, and also remember to subscribe to the channel because it really helps me out there. So catch you guys in the next one, and peace out.